The power of pulling up a stool together. From Sugar House to the Milk District, how Salt Lake City neighbors are pooling their resources to keep our hard-earned money in our neighborhoods. Luckily for her, our writer is on vacation. For the next couple of weeks, we will be running some collaborations with various folks in Salt Lake who are writers, dreamers, and elected officials. We hope you enjoy this series of unique and interesting ideas. This one was written by Paula Longhurst and edited by me, Molly Jones. We've been daydreaming a lot at Around the Counter this month. With a potential shakeup coming to the Salt Lake City mayor's office in 2027, we wanted to channel that daydreaming into something that would build greater community cohesion in our neighborhoods. In our last piece, we looked at bold alternative housing ideas. Today, we are talking about another way to take power back from giant corporate monopolies and centering power in the hearts of our cities, cooperatives. Simply put, a co-op is just a group of neighbors or workers who pool their money to buy resources or run a business together, keeping the decisions and the dollars right here at home. In a year where life feels wildly expensive, keeping our dollars in our own communities instead of shipping them off to global giants is a welcome change. Let's start with the big one, and full disclosure, this solution is not our idea. It comes from a Substack article by Christopher Armitage called, "Could Your City Build Its Own Public Option Alternative to Amazon?" which is a fascinating read and was the genesis for this article. Salt Lake families watch Amazon trucks crowd their streets daily while local politicians talk endlessly about economic development. Yet those same politicians hand out tax breaks to developers while ignoring simple neighborhood-built solutions sitting right in front of them. To be clear, Amazon is a behemoth. Like the genie in Aladdin, your wish is its command. It takes up to half of every sale back to its headquarters in Seattle, and it paid zero income tax in 2017 and 2018. And sure, Amazon is currently one of the biggest employers in the state, but for how long? There could be a better way. A simple neighborhood-built solution that provides jobs, keeps our dollars in the Salt Lake City economy, and works for the community simply because it's the community that runs it. What if Salt Lake City ran an online shopping platform? To quote Armitage, quote, "A city already knows every licensed business within its borders, already collects the taxes that could fund the startup costs, and already has one thing no tech company will ever have, an obligation to serve the public," end quote. If you search for employee-owned companies, you will find companies that the stock market and private equity firms can't touch. Employee-owned companies can be huge. They're not all that slightly odd-smelling co-op your mom dragged you to as a kid. A great first example is Bob's Red Mill, which is fully employee-owned, and you've likely seen their products in your local supermarket. Former Uber and Lyft drivers are forming cooperatives too. In 2023, when the prices went up and the drivers' pay went down, a bunch of drivers in Denver, Colorado got together and formed Drivers Cooperative Colorado. The business is owned by the drivers who actually run the routes, has its own app, and every decision is agreed upon by the drivers who conduct background checks on new applicants. Others followed suit, and now you have the Drivers Co-op in New York. So, Drivers Co-op Salt Lake City, anyone? Rooftop solar is another area ripe for neighborhood imagination. Right now, individual solar installations often come with confusing, high-interest financing that creates a mess when you try to sell your home 10 years down the road. Imagine if neighbors on your block all wanted solar and teamed up to get bulk bids from local installers. They could negotiate a substantial discount, and the company they pick would get a concentrated workload installing the panels and systems all on the same block. This would be a win-win for both the company and the neighborhoods. Our favorite example is from a town in the north of England that funded their own wind turbine because the community decided that energy independence was a priority. Apparently, they, quote, built the biggest wind turbine in England, which is 100% community-owned and nets them $100,000 a year, end quote. The energy they don't use gets sold back to the grid and the profits stay in the community. This is a huge one for small towns. Locals decided they were done waiting for something to happen to them, knocked on doors, organized around their desires, and went out and created the kind of neighborhood they wanted to be. Anywhere that a big company is throwing its weight around, the community can come up with an alternative. Right here in Sugar House, we already have the Neighborhood Hive, a diverse co-op of local businesses, including a cafe and a community radio station. After almost 17 years of operating without a home, the Wasatch Food Co-op opened this year to much fanfare in the Milk District. We could never tell a story about co-ops without Winco, where the stores are employee-owned. And finally, we've got the Village Cooperative, which focuses on initiatives like local food production, cooperative economies, and wellness programs. With all of these examples, know that you don't have to feel like the system is working against you. Communities have a long and storied history of knowing what's best for them and then creating those shared realities. The only thing left to say is, what else should we create right here in Utah? Thanks for pulling up a stool. Want to grab a glass and join the conversation? Here's how. Love it? Hit that heart button to show you like this post. Join the conversation. We'd love to hear your thoughts on today's piece. Restack. Share this out to your personal feed to help us expand our reach. share the warmth. If this resonated, feel free to forward it to a friend. As always, we can be found on Instagram, Threads, YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts.